I think all of us who have been on the spiritual journey and also going through a twin flame experience have heard this word triggers so many times. In fact, we hear this word almost 50 times a day, and it is one of the most overused term in the twin flame or spiritual awakening vocabulary. But I have observed that a lot of people don't really understand what a trigger is or what does that actually mean, and what should you do if you are getting triggered, or what is it that you really need to understand if you are navigating through a spiritual awakening process. So my today's video is going to talk about what the triggers are, what are some examples of being triggered, whether you should accept these triggers or you should avoid these triggers. Are these triggers intentional or unintentional? There are a lot of questions revolving around this term triggers. So welcome back to my channel Awaken with Pradnya. Before I begin, let me urge all those who have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification icon so that you get notifications when I upload new videos. All those who want to do one-to-one consultation with me on their spiritual awakening or twin flame experience, you can look at the information links which I have provided in the description of this video. You can connect me on Instagram, Facebook, or via email. All those links have been given in the description of this video. So let's begin today's video. If we really want to make some sort of a definition of the term trigger in the context of spiritual awakening or twin flame journey, I would like to say that the trigger is something which stirs up your deepest emotions or your deepest belief systems or your deepest conditioning, that brings up your old wounds, your old issues, your hurt, your ego, your belief systems, your trauma, and it comes up to your conscious awareness. That is what you would call as trigger. In the context of twin flame journey, when you meet your twin flame, the triggering in your life is happening at its maximum level. You may be getting a lot of triggers from other people in your life. Probably your parents might have triggered you, or your teachers might have triggered you, your bosses might have triggered you so many times. But when it comes to twin flame triggers, it would really, really stir the most deepest parts of your soul, whatever you have suppressed there, whatever issues you have been holding on. And they will happen repeatedly, and one by one, they will start coming up for you to clear. So I also want to make this effort to explain triggers with certain examples, because it's very easy to understand with these small examples. And I think you would absolutely relate to what I'm saying. It's very much possible that their presence can trigger you, their absence can trigger you, their silence can trigger you, their attitude about their spouse can trigger you, their pictures can trigger you, something which you have in your mind as a past memory about them, and it suddenly you think about that past memory and that can trigger you. Their behavior can trigger you, that they behaved in a certain manner which was not really acceptable by you, and because of that you got triggered. A particular statement they made or the way they reacted to your statement, even when that statement is absolutely simple, there is a high possibility that you might be getting triggered because of something. A few examples of being triggered is they started dating somebody else, they got married to somebody else, they read your message but they did not reply to your text, you saw their happy face on a social media along with their karmic partner, you felt that they are taking you for granted, they are just walking in and out whenever they want in this connection, and that is something which is triggering you. They blocked you on social media and you don't know what to do. They tell you that they are not feeling the same connection the way you feel the connection, or they say that they don't love you or they don't have any feelings for you. All these are the examples of twin flame triggers. There are so many triggers like that. I have just probably put forward some 5% of them. I also want to go even more deeper by taking just one or two examples of whatever I spoke just now. and want to dissect and say that what sort of a trigger is stirring up what sort of a emotion. So if I take one of the examples I just gave you, that you saw your twin flames picture along with their karmic partner. There is this very happy picture you saw, and you got triggered. You are not able to pinpoint what exactly is bothering you, but you are restless, you are sad, or you are not really stable in your mind. Now, if I really want to go much deeper in this whole aspect, it could be that there is an insecurity in you, that how come your twin flame is so happy with their spouse. That means you don't have any chance, or they are not thinking about you, or they are so happy in their life that they don't miss you anymore. So there is this insecurity there in your heart, feeling cheated, feeling of betrayal, feeling of breaking the trust. You also might be having some sort of a jealousy, that look at that person, like, I am not in my twin flame's life, but this person is standing so happily next to him. So there might be some sort of a jealousy you are holding on. There is also some sort of a fear you might be having in your heart, that, oh my God, I just lost this person now because he's gone. He went with somebody else. I lost him. I lost the love of my life. So fear of losing them, fear of uncertainty, that is it really the case that he's gone and he's so happy with somebody else? Is he not going to be with me ever? So that whole fear of losing them. And then there is this judgment, like, how can he do this with you? How can he be so happy by putting you in so much pain alone somewhere, and he's happily enjoying his holiday somewhere? So there is a lot of anger, resentment, judgment. There is so much which is coming there. And there is this ego also, like, I'm not a doormat, I am not a shit, how can he treat me like this? So there is a lot of a mix of emotions with just that one action you did, that you saw the picture of your twin flame along with his spouse, and all these emotions started coming up. If I really want to go even more deeper, from all these emotions, whatever you are experiencing, the real core emotions or blocks which you have in these triggers could be your main basic expectation from your twin flame, your fears which you are holding, and your core belief systems. Many times your core belief systems are too hard. This is how the society should behave. This is how the person who loves you should behave. So there is a certain core behavior template you have fixed in your mind, and you are operating from that core template. So if your twin flame is behaving anything out of that template, you are getting agitated, you are getting triggered. Your core belief systems, your core expectations, and your core fears, these are the basic blocks. The secondary level of emotions like anger, resentment, feeling of cheating, betrayal, insecurity, jealousy, hatred, hurt, disappointment. And because of all these issues are getting triggered, you are landing up in pain. You are landing up being triggered. So are you going to face all these emotions at once when you get triggered? Not necessarily. There would be some certain specific issue which is there inside you, and with that particular behavior of your twin flame, only that particular one issue can be triggered. And you can really go even deeper. It is either coming from this life's experience, whatever belief systems and things you have picked up for yourself in this life, inner child aspect of you, several of your past lives from where you have been picking all these belief systems and thinking patterns, also from your DNA, because you are carrying a lot of belief systems and patterns from your DNA, and also it could be from your ancestral belief system. So these are the 5 places from which you are actually picking up all these core issues of you, and your triggers are actually showing those core wounds to you. And who is sending you these triggers? Your twin flame is sending you this trigger. Another very most important factor, twin flame trigger won't be an intentional action. Your twin flame is not intentionally hurting you or triggering you. They are not seeing things the way you are seeing. Whatever they are doing or not doing is completely coming from a different perspective. They are just trying to cope up with their own life. They have no clue about how their actions or non-actions are affecting you in what way, and you are getting triggered. Coming to the other side of it, you also are unknowingly sending triggers to your twin flame. Many people also ask me that should I behave like this so that my twin flame will get triggered? No, this is not something which you're supposed to do intentionally. You just be yourself and you just behave the way you want to behave in your normal self. If at all, if your twin flame is going to get triggered by your behavior, don't feel guilty and don't do that intentionally. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen on its own. Your triggers are always going to be your teachers. So never try to avoid any of your triggers. Whenever you face any sort of a trigger, it's very, very important to understand that you have two choices. Either you react to your situation where you have got triggered, or you respond to that situation. So reaction is something where you would start getting agitated, annoyed, angry, and you're reflecting every other reaction onto your twin flame. So again, you are creating a lot of mess over there. But if you sit back and make this choice that, okay, I understand that I'm getting triggered, I really need to sit back and start identifying what is it that actually is triggering me. If you really start introspecting and make this effort to identify what is triggering you, somewhere you have started responding to your trigger. So you need to get into the state of responding instead of getting into the state of reacting. Many people fail to understand that the more they are avoiding their triggers, the more they are delaying their progress, the more they are delaying their alignment with their twin flame. We see many people trying to avoid this because they are also having this fear that I don't want to face this because it puts me in a lot of pain. So the first thing what we need to understand is that we are not here to avoid pain, because the more you're avoiding pain, you are suppressing whatever is supposed to be coming out of your energy body even more inside your energy body. So you are exactly doing the opposite of what you are supposed to do. So there is no harm in facing the pain. It's okay to go through that pain. It's like getting the injection. The person who is taking the injection knows that it's going to hurt, but they know that if I take this injection, I'm going to get better. The triggers are exactly like that. That take it as an injection, take it and face it. There is a need to sit back, introspect, and identify what is triggering you. It is extremely important to identify what is triggering you, because unless and until you know what is triggering you, you cannot work on that trigger. There is this very simple 3-step process which I have applied in my journey when it comes to working on my triggers. One is that you identify what is triggering you. I can give my own example. Once I saw my twin flame's picture on Facebook along with his spouse, and I was triggered. And that time I was absolutely awakened in my journey. I was working on myself. Somehow I really still got triggered. And I was not understanding what is the big deal, why I am feeling so triggered if I see my twin flame's picture with his spouse. It took me 2 days to even identify what was triggering me. I was really getting jealous of his wife, that why is she standing next to this guy? And somehow it was surprising me because I was never that sort of a person who would feel jealous for anybody else. And I was always okay with my twin flame's wife standing next to him. What's the big deal about it? So many pictures are there where she's standing next to him. So what is it that it is triggering so much? So I was wondering, like, I definitely am not a jealous person. Why I should feel jealousy? So there is something else. What is it? What is it? I was trying to figure out. But at the end of the second day, I somehow got to this conclusion that I am feeling jealous, probably. I'm feeling jealous. It's about jealousy. I'm really not feeling okay with it. That day, somehow I identified that I am feeling jealous. However, it took me 2 more months to accept that I am feeling jealous. So this is the second step to treating your triggers 100% with your full heart. Why I say that? Because when I identified that I am feeling jealous, I was not fully able to accept it. My ego mind was still coming again and again and telling me, no, 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 you are such a great person. You are such an amazing person. You never feel jealous about people. Your ego would come and try to pull back, telling you stories that how you are great and how you are not having this particular issue inside you. So I was struggling in my heart for 2 months. it took me 2 months to fully come to this acceptance that it is okay to feel jealous. There is nothing wrong with it. Let me accept it fully that I was feeling jealous when I got triggered. So accepting whatever you have identified as your trigger fully is the most important second step towards working your triggers, because unless you accept fully what is your issue, you cannot work on it. And the third and most important step is setting your intention to release your trigger. If there is a core issue, that is jealousy, you cannot work on your jealousy from your ego mind. Your ego cannot work on your jealousy. So I called upon my spirit team and I said to them, I am holding this jealousy right now towards somebody, towards this person, but I intend to release this jealousy someday. And please help me to release it. And just let go of that intention, because it has to happen on the soul level. So it is very important to set the intention. Let the divine know that you are wanting to release. It may take 2 months, 2 years, or probably 2 decades for you to totally release your jealousy, but you would be able to release that jealousy. What is the most important thing is setting the intention to release it. And when you will be able to set the intention, when you fully accept that you do hold that sort of a jealousy in your heart, and how you will be able to accept it fully, first by identifying what is it that is triggering you. This is the simple process I have followed when it comes to processing my trigger. 3-step simple process: identify, accept, set the intention to release. If you are able to understand why it is important to stop running from your triggers, why it is important to face your triggers, and how you should be working towards releasing your blocks by utilizing your triggers to identify those blocks. And I think this is the most extreme important process in anybody's spiritual awakening journey. Your twin flames higher self is actually carrying this amazing and important role to be the person who sends you those triggers so that you work on yourself. So you can understand how instrumental your twin flames role is in sending you these triggers, and how important it is for you to look at those triggers in a positive way. Take that opportunity, pick the trigger, and work on that trigger. So I hope all this information about twin flame triggers helps you, and you are able to work on any of your triggers, whatever comes your way. So this is all for today. See you in the next video.